Hey guys, welcome to Pest Startup 101, where we talk all things pest control related. In this episode, we're going to talk about insurance claims and how we got scammed by a one-time customer who claimed we did some water damage to her basement. We'll go into detail on how you should deal with insurance claims and what we should have done when the insurance claim happened. Please remember to subscribe. Now let's get on with the show. Okay, guys, so we had a customer. Welcome to Pest Startup 101. Hope you're subscribed. Check out our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. So let's get back to the story. We had a customer in upper middle class area, and she had a rodent problem. So we took care of that. We went for initial services, a one-time treatment for rodents. We put the traps, we seal the holes. We put snap traps in the basement, glue traps, bait. We put bait box outside, sealed a huge hole outside. We actually charged her less than we should have, but she was a working teacher and older lady, and we said, hey, we're here. And it was our fault. We didn't catch it when we did the initial inspection, so we knocked it out. But a few days later, she calls and says, I think we got one. So we come by, and there's a dead rat behind her washing machine. So here we go. So we pull the machine, turn it to the side, and we grab the rat, put the machine back. We didn't pull it out all the way. There were no holes pulled, no hoses unplugged, no outlets needed to be unplugged. It was literally just scooch it over to the left, pull it a little bit just to be able to stick your hand in there to grab it. So eventually we got it, put the machine back, we left, and at the end of the day we get a call. Hey, we were doing laundry and our basement flooded, and we didn't even notice it. So we say, okay, so we'll go check it out, and we'll take care of it, and we'll handle it. And then if we have to report it to insurance, we'll report it to insurance, and they'll take care of it. So the next day, this is one mistake. We should have gone that same day. So whenever you get an insurance claim, you have to document it. You have to get pictures of the damaged area. We serviced her for the rodent service, and it was a full day. And by the time she called, it was 6:30 at night. We didn't want to go back. We didn't want to go over there and take the pictures. So we said, hey, we'll go there tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, you'll be home, okay? So, of course, what does she do? She calls a company to remove the water in her basement because she claims that it was flooded. Now, this is a pretty big basement. There's a couple of rooms in the basement, and it's one washing machine, okay? So if the washing machine overflows, eventually it stops, if the hose is just draining whatever's in the machine, I mean, how much water could that be? I mean, you'll flood maybe a few inches in one room, maybe. No. She got a company to come, and the company told her they had to remove the rug, and they had to cut the sheetrock up to the knee level so that there won't be any mold creeping up. So by the time we get there, everything is cut off. All the sheetrock is cut. All the rug is removed, and they didn't just do the one room where the laundry was. They did the whole basement. So because of that, they have to repair that by doing a new floor, sealing up the sheetrock space that was cut out, and then painting each room. So she basically got a whole new basement. And a job that if we would have went the same day, saw the damage, vacuumed it, and then we offered to pay for the repairs ourselves, so we wouldn't have to report it to insurance, we would have replaced her rug, and maybe if it would have went up to her sheetrock, we could have done that in that one room. But because we didn't go the same day, that's when we get ripped off, and they go and hit up every room. So something that should have been maybe $500, which is a lot. It should have been maybe $300. It cost $4,200. So thank God for insurance. Claim that with insurance, and you just have to pay the deductible. But this is a learning lesson right here. When it comes to insurance claims, do not agree to anything over the phone. Do not agree to the value of anything over the phone. Do not take responsibility for any damage whatsoever without you being present. So you will not accept, please do not accept any responsibility for any damage until you have assessed the damage, until you have gone and reviewed it. And then you can say, hey, yes, that was my bad. That was me. And you take pictures for the insurance company, because even the insurance guy was shocked. I told him what happened. He says, I'm looking this over. It says washing machine, $4,200. I said, yeah. She got her own guy, got an estimate, she has the slip. So, by the time I got there, she had everything ready. She had all the paper. And then she even tried to call her own home insurance company. So then I would only have to pay the deductible, but they wouldn't cover that damage. So I had to, the deductible, I believe, was going to be the same amount as mine. So we had to go with me. We had to go through me. So, yeah, so I took pictures of all the documentation, all the estimates that the customer gets. You have to get pictures of. You have to try to get the information of the person doing the work. So if you damage something and you're not the one picking the people that are going to fix the damaged area, let's say you're going to let insurance handle it. So she gets someone to take care of it, and then your insurance is going to pay for it. You have to get as much information as possible that day, because most likely you'll never go back there again. So you have to get copies of all the damage. You have to get pictures of all the damaged area. You have to get pictures of the paperwork for the the estimates that the customer gets. You have to take a picture of that. If you can't scan it, you can scan it on your phone, and then make sure you have all documentation for when you perform the service with their signature, what you did. Make sure that service ticket is very well filled out. Don't alter it in any kind of way. But this is when it comes that this is one of those things where you have to push your employees that they have to document everything when they perform a service. They have to document everything. So they have to check in, check out. If you're using an app, it's 2022. Very few people use paper tickets, but some guys do. But your tech using the app, they have to check in, they have to check out, they have to put notes in it. The notes cannot just be blank. The chemicals, it cannot be, he uses 5 different chemicals, but only marks off one. I've seen that in other companies that I've worked with, where the technician, you look over his paperwork and it just says he used transport, just transport in every stop. Granted, he was doing buildings, but when you do these buildings in the city, you give tenants glue boards, or you place glue boards. I'm not a fan of giving tenants glue boards, because they just stick them in the cabinet. Then they keep asking you for more glue boards, and then you open their cabinet and it's full of glue boards that they've been stacking up for 6 months. So I'm not a fan of giving tenants anything. Technically, you're not supposed to give them anything, but glue boards are not chemicals, so you can. But the technician wasn't documenting any glue boards. He wasn't documenting. I'm sure the spray wasn't the only thing he ever used. He had to use gel. He had to use poison. Now 2 reasons why this is good. Why you have to enforce the documentation. One is for you to keep track of the chemicals used. So if you give a guy 5 boxes of glue boards, a quart of transport, dust, gels, and then he's only filling out that he's spraying transport every day, you can't keep track of what he's using. And with different programs, you can see the metrics and you can see the chemical usage for that technician for that month. You can zero it in for that day. When you go through the filter section, you can change it and you can see how much chemicals he used. And it'll tell you exactly that. It'll say Catchmaster, how many glue boards, and it'll show you the spikes in the month of when he uses the most, which will help you with ordering, which will help you with tracking how much he's costing you. And if you have a guy that's using double the amount of chemicals than the other person, than your other guys, then you can track that and you can keep a tab. You can notice that the spike, and then you can say, okay, he's taking this much, he's doing this many stops, how is he using this much? So you can see. He can be one of those guys that just gives too much. You go to a building and you're giving every tenant 5 glue boards on top of you placing down glue boards in their unit. That's insane, because in the city, you have buildings that go as low as 24 units, and then you have buildings that go as high as 100 to 300 units. So 100 to 300 is a case where you have to stay there for at least 4 hours and knock on all the doors, or just service the ones that fill out a sheet, sign their name on the sheet that's placed below by the mailboxes. But yeah, even so, 5 glue boards is insane, because you're already placing glue boards. If you're doing your job correctly, you're pulling the stove, you're checking, you're placing a trap, you're doing something under the kitchen sink, you're doing something by the heater. If they've had activity, you don't have to do it in the heater. But if they've had activity in the past and this following month they didn't have activity, then I would place the glue traps by the heaters. And then the following month, if the problem's gone, okay, we haven't had activity in 2 months. Okay, did you throw away the old traps? And that's it. And then you don't give them any more traps. You just place it behind the stove and behind the fridge. That's the way I go. But this is great for keeping track of things. So, like always, I've derailed. And let's get back to the insurance. So the insurance, where did I go wrong? So first thing, I didn't go the same day to go get pictures of the damage. Number 2, I semi-admitted guilt, but only because I assume that if it's a washing machine, the most damage that could happen is surrounding that washing machine in that room. I did not expect to have the basement, to have all the sheetrock cut in the basement up to knee level in every damn room. So I didn't expect that. So, but even so, should never accept blame, because then you end up getting screwed like this. Now, thank God for insurance, because of insurance only cost me $500 for the deductible. And, knock on wood, haven't had any issues. The lady, I never saw her again. She got what she wanted. I did get a service from a man down the street, also with rodents. I was very careful in his home. I had a weird feeling that he knew who she was, and that's how he found us. But, I barely went inside, so I wasn't too concerned. And another thing, documentation. I did get the picture of the estimate. It was readable, but it was a very dark room in the kitchen. The light was very old. I did not use the flash on my phone, so the brightness wasn't great. And I didn't use the scan feature on the phone. I just took a picture. So then you zoom in and it's still dark. You use the scan, it amplifies the darkness in the lines and the signatures and everything, and it's easier to read. So I messed up there. Good thing the insurance people were very cool about it. They just went on their way. To them, this is just another insurance claim. It wasn't such a big deal. No one died, thank God. And everything was okay. The customer wasn't such a big pain about it, because she was getting a brand new basement. So insurance is very important. I know some guys, with insurance companies, you get the insurance when you register the business here in New York, and then you don't have to recertify for 3 years. So people sign up for insurance, they pay on a month-to-month basis, and then they can get the insurance. The insurance could lapse, and they won't have insurance for a year, maybe almost 2. And then when they're about to register their business again, they go through another broker and they get insurance again. And then they submit that paperwork when they have to renew their insurance, when they have to renew their license. So stay on top of your paperwork, stay on top of your certifications, on top of your insurance. In New York, we have to recertify our license every 3 years. We have to recertify the business registration every 3 years and submit all documentation as far as vehicles, how many vehicles we have, how many techs, and it's very important. So stay on top of those things. So that was my story on insurance claim. We can call it a scam. I definitely do, because $4,000 for a basement, I was definitely scammed. But I could have done some things to maybe avoid such a huge hit. Maybe if I would have went the same night, I could have noticed it was just in one room, and she wouldn't have been able to get away with treating the whole basement. getting all the rooms and basement redone and now repainted and new floors. And yeah, so, but that's the way it goes. All right. Thank you for listening. I know I rambled on a little bit. Episodes are going to come out more frequent every week. This is, of course, a pre-episode because I'm still working things out. I hope the sound is a lot better on this episode 3. But please subscribe. Thanks for listening and be safe out there. Remember to subscribe, receive notifications when our new episodes post, and check out our website, peststartup101.com.